Most people think the highway is empty at night. Just miles of silence, headlights, and nothing else. But what if I told you? Some drivers don't just pass through the dark. They're already waiting for you in it. Tonight, I've got 3 real stories from truckers who ran into something way worse than a breakdown. So before we start, imagine you're alone on a highway at 2 a.m., no signal, no cars, and something feels off. Now ask yourself, would you stop or keep driving? I don't use my real name anymore. Out here, sometimes it's better to stay unknown. After what went down at a rest stop off I-10 in Arizona, I learned real quick that not every story needs to be told in full. But this one? Yeah, people need to hear it. I've been hauling freight across the southern U.S. for years. Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, long empty stretches where the road feels like it never ends. I've dealt with everything: blown tires, dead engines, transmission failures in the middle of nowhere. But nothing, and I mean nothing, felt like that night. It was around 2 a.m. when I pulled into a rest stop. One of those places that barely looks active, like it only exists because the state says it has to. Dim yellow lights, cracked pavement, wind pushing sand across the lot like whispers. There were only 2 other trucks parked, spaced far apart. I took the furthest spot. Standard routine. Locked the doors, checked the mirrors, killed the engine. And then, silence. Not normal silence. This one felt heavy, like the air itself was holding its breath. That's when I heard it. A bang. Not loud, not sharp, more like muffled metal. I sat still, thinking maybe it was cargo shifting somewhere. Then it came again. 3 dull thuds. Pause. Then something dragging. I checked my mirror. 2 spaces behind me. There was a refrigerated trailer. But something was off. Its cooling unit wasn't running. No hum. No vibration. Just dead quiet. And yet, something inside it was moving. I should have ignored it. Should have stayed in the cab. But curiosity? That'll get you in trouble real fast out here. So yeah, I stepped out. The air hit cold and dry. That desert chill that creeps under your skin. Every step I took on the gravel sounded way too loud. Like I was announcing myself. No movement anywhere else. No doors. No engines. Just me. And that trailer. I walked close, but not too close. No company logo. Dust all over the sides. Doors sealed tight. Nothing looked forced open. I placed my hand against the metal. Cold. Still. Then, thud. 3 times. Clearer now. Slow. Controlled. Like someone inside was trying not to make too much noise. That's when it hit me. Someone might be trapped. But right after that thought came another one. This ain't your problem. I looked toward the cab of that truck. Dark. Curtains closed. No driver. No markings. Nothing. And that's when headlights lit up the entrance. A pickup truck rolled in. Slow. Too slow. It didn't park normally. Instead, it curved around and stopped directly behind my truck. Engine still running. High beams blasting straight into my mirror. I froze. Didn't run. Didn't react. Just stood there, trying to look like I wasn't paying attention. Then the lights cut off. But the engine stayed on. The driver's door opened. Slow. A man stepped out, holding something long by his side. Not waving it. Not hiding it either. Just carrying it. He started walking. Not rushing. Not talking. Just moving with purpose. And here's the thing. He adjusted his path. So the distance between us stayed the same. That's when I knew. This wasn't random. I backed up slowly toward my cab. Step by step. Heart pounding. He kept coming. Same pace. Same silence. I reached the door, climbed in fast, and locked it. Engine on. No hesitation. Then, bang. Passenger window. Glass cracked instantly. Second hit. It shattered. Glass exploded into the cab. I felt it slice my arm. Before I could even react, his arm came through, reaching for the door handle. The tool he had? Heavy. Metal. He knew exactly where to strike. No time to think. Just move. Clutch in. Ignition full turn. Engine roared alive. I slammed it into gear and hit the gas. He lost balance as the truck lurched forward. But the pickup behind me moved fast, trying to block my way out. So I made a risky call. I cut the wheel hard, side angle. Trailer dragged, tires fighting gravel. For a second, I thought I'd jackknife. But it straightened. Something hit the side of the cab. Didn't care what. I just needed distance. I cleared the exit, barely missing the curb, and hit the highway. The pickup followed for a bit. Headlights flashing weird patterns. Trying to mess with me. But then, after a few miles, it just backed off. Gone. Like it never happened. No chase. No noise. Just silence again. I didn't stop. Didn't slow down. Wind blasting through the broken window. Dust filling the cab. Blood stinging my arm. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part? That trailer. Those sounds weren't random. They had rhythm. Control. Like someone wanted attention. But not too much. And the timing? Too perfect. That pickup showed up right when I stepped out. That's when it clicked. It wasn't about the trailer. It was about me. A setup. Make a driver curious. Get him out of the cab. Leave the truck vulnerable. Take everything. Disappear. I'd heard stories like that before. Always thought they were just truck stop rumors. You know, exaggerated stuff people tell to pass time. Not anymore. That night changed how I drive. Every stop. Every shadow. Every light in the distance. Means something now. Because sometimes, the danger doesn't come at you fast. It waits. It plans. And it lets you walk right into it. And if you think that was bad, the next driver didn't even step out of his truck. And still ended up face to face with something way worse. Because sometimes, the real danger doesn't wait outside. It gets in. My name's not important. Out on the road, names don't really matter anyway. What matters is what you see. And what you survive. I've been running long routes through Nevada for almost 20 years. Miles of nothing. Just desert, wind, and asphalt stretching forever. Most drivers will tell you. Those empty highways? They're peaceful. Quiet. Almost calming. Yeah. That's what I used to think too. It was late. Real late. Somewhere past midnight, maybe closer to 1 a.m. I was rolling steady down a state highway, off the main routes. No traffic. No lights. No signal. Just my headlights cutting through darkness. And that low hum of the engine keeping me company. Then I saw him. A car pulled over on the shoulder. Old sedan. Hood up. Hazard lights blinking like a slow pulse in the dark. I checked my mirrors. Nothing behind me. Nothing ahead. Just us. Now out here, you see someone stranded. You don't just leave them. At least, that's what I believed back then. So I slowed down. Pulled over. He walked up to the cab. And right away, something felt off. Not panic. Not desperation. He was too calm. Too steady. He told me his car broke down. Said he needed a ride to the next gas station, 20, maybe 30 kilometers out. Simple enough. Normal story. Still, I hesitated. Just for a second. Then I unlocked the passenger door. Big mistake. He climbed in, shut the door carefully. Like he'd done it 100 times before. Adjusted the seat. Got comfortable. Too comfortable. I pulled back onto the road, picking up speed again. 90. 100 kilometers per hour. The truck settled into its rhythm. For about a minute. We rode in silence. Then he spoke. He said my daughter should be starting high school that year. I didn't say anything at first. Thought maybe I misheard him. But then he said her name. Full name. Now listen. I hadn't mentioned family. No photos in the cab. No stickers. No clues. Nothing. My grip tightened on the wheel. I kept my eyes on the road, waiting for him to explain. He didn't. So I asked. Kept my voice calm. Man, how do you know that? He just shrugged slightly. Said, some things are easy to find if you pay attention. Like it was nothing. Like he was talking about the weather. That's when something inside me shifted. The desert outside looked the same. But suddenly it didn't feel empty anymore. I kept driving. But my mind was racing. Then he spoke again. Said my house has a white fence on the right side. Said there's usually a dog tied up out front when we're not home. I never mentioned a house. Or a dog. Or where I lived. Nothing. The air in the cab got heavy. Real heavy. I glanced at him for just a second. Couldn't fully see his face in the dim dashboard light. But his posture? Too straight. Too controlled. He wasn't looking at me. Just straight ahead. Watching the road disappear into the dark. Like he wasn't worried at all. That's when I noticed something. His pant leg shifted slightly. Just enough. And I saw it. A knife. Small. Sharp. Tucked neatly against his boot. Not loose. Not accidental. placed there, ready. His hand rested right above it, not gripping it, but close enough. Now we're doing over 90 kilometers per hour on an empty desert highway. No signal, no help, no witnesses. I couldn't just slam the brakes. Couldn't panic. I needed a move. That didn't look like a move. So I slowed down. Just a little. Gradual. Natural. He noticed. Of course he did. Said I usually drive a little faster when I'm alone. That's when I knew for sure. This wasn't random. I asked his name. He gave me something short. Forgettable. Didn't ask mine. Didn't care. It was like he already knew everything he needed. I checked the road ahead. Still empty. But then I saw something coming up. A maintenance pull-off. Not a real rest stop. Just an open gravel area used by road crews. Dim lighting. But better than nothing. That was my shot. I signaled early. Made it look routine. Told him I needed to check something in the axle. Kept my tone calm. Professional. He didn't argue. But I saw his hand shift slightly closer to the knife. We rolled into the gravel area. Slow. Controlled. I lined up the truck and pulled the brake. Engine still running. Everything normal. Everything calm. Until it wasn't. The second he realized we weren't near any gas station. His hand moved. That's all I needed. I opened my door instantly. Jumped out on my side. Didn't run. Just moved fast and smart. I circled the front of the truck, keeping distance. He threw the door open. Knife in hand now. But he was slower getting down. That height difference. That worked in my favor. I stayed just out of reach. Then I moved. Quick. Back to my side. Climbed in. Locked the door. Gear in. Foot down. The truck rolled forward, leaving him standing in the dust. I checked the mirror. He didn't chase. Didn't yell. Didn't run. He just stood there. Still. Like he already knew. This one didn't work. And that's what messed with me the most. No anger. No panic. Just calculation. I didn't slow down until I hit the main highway again. Even then, my hands were still tight on the wheel. Because I couldn't stop thinking. How did he know all that? How long had he been watching? And how many other drivers didn't get away? Since that night, I don't stop for anyone out there. I don't care what it looks like. Broken car. Hazard lights. Someone waving for help. Out on those roads. Not every cry for help is real. Sometimes, it's just a test. To see if you're willing to open the door. And if you think picking up a stranger is dangerous, wait until you hear what happened to the next driver. Because he didn't pick anyone up. He didn't stop for anyone. And he still ended up trapped. With no way out. Smiling face with horns. My name is Caleb Turner. I've been driving routes through the Southwest long enough to know when something feels off. And that night? Yeah. Nothing about it felt right. The instructions were simple. Pull into the yard. Park. Wait until morning for unloading clearance. Normal job. Routine stop. But the second I rolled up to that place, something didn't sit right. The gate was open. Wide open. No guard. No lights at the entrance. No sign in point. Just an empty industrial yard in the middle of nowhere. And the thing is, I knew this location. There weren't supposed to be any overnight operations there. No night crew. No late unloading. Still, there were fresh tire marks on the ground, meaning someone had been moving in and out recently. I should have left, but I didn't. I drove in, gravel crunching under the tires, engine humming steady. I parked where I was told, turned off the engine, and waited. The silence settled in, wind pushing dust across the yard, metal structures creaking softly, tall light poles flickering overhead, casting shadows that kept shifting every few seconds. That's when I saw it. Movement. Far back between two trailers. Two guys. They weren't just standing there. They were working. Fast. Quiet. Transferring boxes from one trailer to another. No forklift. No uniforms. No lights inside the trailers. Just quick, practiced movements. Like they'd done this before. That wasn't normal. I stayed still in the cab. Adjusted my mirror slightly. Just enough to keep watching without being obvious. The boxes had no labels. No markings. And one of the trailers wasn't even on the scheduled list for that yard. I knew because I checked the manifest before I left. That's when it hit me. This wasn't overtime work. This was something else. Something that wasn't supposed to be seen. So I made a decision. Stay in the truck. Stay quiet. Wait until morning. Simple. But then, one of them stopped and looked straight at me. Not a quick glance. Not random. He stared. Like he was confirming something. Like he already knew I'd been watching. I immediately turned off my cabin light. Froze. Didn't move. Didn't breathe. My truck was about 50 meters away. But suddenly, that distance didn't feel like enough. Then I checked the mirror again, and my stomach dropped. The gate was closed. A chain ran through it. Padlock in place. I didn't hear it happen. Which means they locked it while I was distracted. I wasn't just in a yard anymore. I was trapped. I looked back. One of the men had stopped unloading. And now, he was walking toward me. Slow. Steady. No rush. No panic. Just like the others. Controlled. That's when I heard something else. A metal door slamming somewhere behind the sheds. Echoing across the yard. That confirmed it. There were more of them. I wasn't dealing with two guys anymore. I was surrounded. Now the situation changed. Fast. I thought about flooring it right away. But the layout was tight. Trucks parked in narrow rows. Barely enough space to maneuver. One wrong turn, and I'd be stuck. And if I got stuck, that's it. Game over. So I waited. Just a few seconds more. Trying to look like I hadn't noticed anything. The guy kept getting closer. 30 meters. That's when I made my move. Key in. Ignition. The engine roared to life, louder than I wanted. And the second it did, he reacted. Not panicking, just speeding up. I threw it into gear and started rolling. Slow at first, then faster, weaving through the tight lanes between parked trailers. Mirrors checking constantly. Every inch mattered. Then I saw headlights. A pickup truck starting up near the warehouses. Great. Now they had speed on their side. The pickup moved fast, trying to cut me off. I couldn't outrun it, but I could outplay it. I kept my line steady, then suddenly cut right into a narrower lane. Barely enough space. The trailer dragged slightly, metal scraping somewhere along the side. Didn't matter. I kept going. The pickup tried to follow, but had to slow down. That gave me a few seconds, and that's all I needed. I pushed forward, straight toward the gate. Still locked, still chained. No time to stop, no time to think. Only one option. I hit the gas. The truck surged forward. Heavy, powerful, unstoppable. The pickup came from the side, trying one last time to block me. I didn't brake, didn't turn, didn't hesitate. Impact. The front hit the gate. Metal snapped. Chain stretched. Then broke. The padlock couldn't hold. The gate burst open just enough, and I forced the truck through, dragging part of the fence with me. Then, freedom. Back on open road. I didn't slow down. Didn't look back right away. When I finally checked the mirror, the pickup had stopped at the gate. They didn't follow. Like they knew. Their operation didn't go beyond that point. And that told me something even worse. That yard was just one piece of something bigger. I kept driving until the place disappeared completely. The highway looked the same as always. Empty. Silent. But I wasn't the same. Later, I filed a report. Kept it basic. Didn't mention everything. Because out here, some things are better handled carefully. But one thing stuck with me. That wasn't random. That was organized. Planned. Controlled. And I drove straight into it. Since that night, I don't trust empty places anymore. I don't care what the schedule says. I don't care how routine it looks. Because out in the desert, isolation doesn't mean safety. Sometimes, it means the exact opposite. So yeah, next time you're on a long empty highway, and everything feels quiet, normal, peaceful, just remember, some of these places, they're not empty. They're just waiting. And sometimes, by the time you realize that, it's already too late. Smiling face with horns.